All right, today we are diving into something absolutely fascinating, the mystery of yawning. It's this incredibly universal, literal cradle-to-grave experience that we all share. But, paradoxically, it's something we constantly try to hide. It seems perfectly ordinary on the surface, right? But as we'll see in this explainer, when you look at it through the lens of modern science and depth psychology, yawning is actually a profound biological and emotional mechanism.
Now, I want you to picture this. Have you ever been sitting in a dead quiet classroom, or maybe a super tense, high-stakes meeting, or even just scrolling through a dense book late at night, when suddenly a huge, deep yawn catches you completely off guard? And what do? Well, if you're like most of us, you try your absolute best to choke it down. You swallow it, you clench your jaw, mostly out of this fear that people around you are going to think, oh, they're lazy, they're bored, they're being disrespectful. It's a really familiar, deeply uncomfortable feeling, isn't it? But here's what makes this whole thing so fascinating. This biological marvel is hardwired into us by nature. We experience yawning every single day, starting from when we are literally fetuses developing in the womb, all the way to the very last moments of our lives. It is a totally uncontrollable reflex. And that sets up this really captivating central mystery for us. Why exactly did nature force this strange, overwhelming physical response onto our bodies? What purpose is it actually serving? Well, for centuries, we actually had it completely wrong. A lot of people, and hey, maybe even you, were taught that yawning is just a basic sign of sleepiness, or even worse, an indicator that your body's suddenly lacking oxygen, right? The old oxygen myth. But modern neuroscience gracefully pivots us away from that idea. Dr. Andrew Gallup, a behavioral biologist who's dedicated years to this groundbreaking research, proved a highly acclaimed theory. And it turns out, yawning isn't about oxygen at all. It's actually your brain's built-in cooling system. To really intuitively understand this, we need to think about a pretty remarkable number, and that is 20%. Now, our brain makes up only a tiny fraction of our total body weight, but it is so incredibly dense and active that it consumes 20% of our entire energy supply. So I want you to imagine your brain as this high-performance engine, or maybe a super sophisticated computer that's running way too many heavy applications at the exact same time. Just like that high-performance engine or an overworked processor, the sheer volume of energy being consumed means it is constantly generating heat. And this brings us to the exact moment the yawning reflex gets triggered to literally save that overworked mind. You see, when you're burdened by stress, when you're fatigued, or when you're just pushing yourself way too hard through a long day, the literal physical temperature of your brain starts to rise. And just like a computer, when it overheats, its information processing begins to slow down. Your cognition lags, you lose focus, and that is exactly when the magic happens. Let's walk through this seamless biological sequence together. Okay, step 1, the brain overheats. Step 2, your mouth opens wide and you take this massive, deep breath. That sudden influx of cool ambient air instantly chills the blood vessels in your face and head. Then, step 3, the immense stretching of your jaw and facial muscles actually acts as a mechanical pump, pushing this newly cooled blood straight up into the brain. It is literally the biological equivalent of an automatic cooling vent opening up, or a computer's internal fan suddenly kicking into high gear to prevent a total system crash. So the absolutely crucial point here is that a yawn is not a sign of weakness. It's not an insult to the person speaking to you. It is a profound physiological reset. Think of it as a powerful, built-in reboot designed by nature to rapidly lower your brain's temperature and restore your focus and alertness so you can keep going. It is literally your body brilliantly taking care of your mind. But Dr. Gallup's research opens up an even deeper layer of discovery, moving us from the pure mechanics of thermoregulation to something far more mysterious. Because have you ever noticed that simply seeing someone else yawn, or actually even just reading the word yawn, makes you want to do the exact same thing? Why is yawning so powerfully contagious? Well, this intuitively points us to the evolutionary science of empathy. When you observe someone else yawning, these specific cells in your brain literally light up. They're called mirror neurons, and these incredible neurons allow us to basically step into another person's shoes. They let our brains mirror the internal state of the person sitting across from us. So contagious yawning isn't just some quirky mimicry, it's our brains actively wiring together in real time. It turns out contagious yawning is a deeply empathy-driven reflex.
Psychological experiments consistently show that individuals who score higher on empathy tests are significantly more prone to catching a yawn. And on top of that, this invisible bond is vastly stronger between people who share close emotional relationships. Family members, close friends, partners. It is quite literally a physical manifestation of an invisible emotional bond connecting humans together.
And this invisible bond actually stems from a totally fascinating evolutionary survival code. Picture early human tribes, right? Sitting together in the dark around a fire. If one person's brain became fatigued and triggered a cooling yawn to stay alert, that yawn cascaded through the group. It was the silent, instinctive communication tool used by our ancestors to synchronize their collective awareness and keep the entire tribe safe from predators. But what's absolutely crucial to think about today is how our modern environment of isolation, where we spend countless hours staring at digital screens instead of into each other's faces, might actually be starving our natural capacity for this deep, instinctive human connection.
So, as we transition from evolutionary biology to a more internal landscape, let's slow down for a second and look at the depth psychology of Carl Jung. He taught that the human body and mind are an inseparable unity. The body always finds a way to speak what the conscious mind tries to hide. And this brings us to the deeply gentle, emotional message our body is trying to send us when we yawn. You see, in our modern, high-pressure world, we wear masks. We try to force ourselves to look strong, invincible, and perpetually productive all the time. But the physical act of yawning shatters that mask. It is your body's most honest warning that you are overloaded. It's an emotional release valve. It is the physical realization that your brain is simply exhausted, and your conscious ego desperately needs a moment of stillness that you've been denying it. Once we truly understand this, yawning transforms from this embarrassing faux pas into a brilliant self-defense mechanism gifted by the universe to your body. It naturally regulates our nervous system, effortlessly transitioning us from that frantic state of fight or flight stress and tension into a rest and digest state of peace. It's literally an invitation to step out of the panic of constant productivity and just release any societal shame or guilt you might carry about simply being tired. So here is a gentle mind-body tip for you to take away from this explainer. The next time you feel a yawn coming on, please don't mask it by downing another cup of synthetic caffeine. Honor your fatigue, relax your facial muscles, take that deep, cooling breath, allow yourself to rest, even if it is just for a few fleeting seconds. Because by doing this, you aren't giving up. You are actively choosing to listen to the profound wisdom of your own nervous system instead of forcing the exhaustion down. And hey, if you happen to be in a room and you see someone across from you catching your yawn, don't apologize for it. Instead, just smile. Because in that split second, science and psychology agree, it proves that your souls share a deep connection. It is a flash of mutual empathy, a beautiful reminder that we are all instinctively wired to feel what the other is feeling. Which leaves us with this final thought. The journey of understanding ourselves always begins with learning to listen to the natural responses of our own bodies. So, going forward, will you finally drop the mask? Will you listen to your body's honest warning and embrace the rest you actually deserve? If you've ever had to awkwardly suppress a yawn in a stressful moment, or if you found a fresh perspective in the science we explored today, I would absolutely love for you to share your story in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going, knowing that we are all walking this journey together.